So have you ever wanted to learn more about horticulture, learn to take care of a plant, and also just learn responsibility as a whole? Well, we got you covered with this. We're gonna go through our introductions, our problem statement, our research, our solution, testing and data, and how we'll move forward and our conclusion.
Hey, I'm Isaac.
I'm Heitor.
I'm Braylon.
And I'm Devin.
All right, so kind of moving into how we devised our problem. So we recognize that household plant owners oftentimes struggle with like proper care for their plants, and this oftentimes stems from like a couple of problems, but we highlighted a few here. So like the first one is that plant care can vary between different types of plants. So like if you have like a tropical plant, that'll take a different type of plant care than just like your standard like household plant. And also individuals can have difficulty recognizing like the issues that their plant has and like figuring out what to do with that information, like if their leaves are like rotting or stuff like that. So this kind of moves us into our initial idea and our problem statement. So our initial idea, like I said, we have all had issues in the past regarding like struggling with plant care and things of that nature. So we wanted to seek out a solution that would kind of solve these issues. And our problem statement stemmed from that, and it is that inexperienced plant owners need a simple and reliable way to monitor their plant's needs, because like I said, they often lack the knowledge and experience to provide proper care to their plants, and this can like lead to issues with watering, sunlight, and overall just plant health in general.
Some of our stakeholders are household plant owners, since they are the main target audience. They can have the lack of knowledge, as you said. And then we have the gardeners that, despite having more knowledge in the area, they are usually looking for tools and practices that can improve the plant's health. And finally, we have plant stores that they look for the success of the clients when taking care of plants, so they can come back in the future. So any technology or tool that can improve the plant's health for the client would be great for them. And for our methods for user research, we had literature review, where we made some research, trying to understand the challenges, how to use the sensors, and understand the variety of plants. Then we had interviews where we talk with some stakeholders to also understand their challenges, and we found out that they usually take care of the plants by instinct and by their interest, and not exactly looking for the plant, like taking care of the plant. And for observation, we try to observe some specific examples related to some problems for watering and sunlight, and we understand that maybe some visual thing to see would be great to make it easier to take care of the plants.
As we're going through all of this, we kept cost in mind as well. Up here we have a breakdown of all the components that we're going to need for our prototype and the price for each one. Towards the left, for the components, like right here for example, is the less expensive option, and as you go more right, that's the more expensive option. If you went with every single optional component and everything at its max price, the pot would cost about $82, but this would be the highest quality option.
So some of the existing solutions that we saw out in the market today, the first one is this like smart planter pet robot, which is essentially just an electronic pot that measures like soil moisture and sunlight levels, but it doesn't consider like different types of plants and how their care may differ. And then the next solution we saw was this guttation monitor, which is essentially just a sensor that measures like a fluid that is excreted from certain types of plants, and there's like certain levels of chemicals when your plant is like in distress, and it'll like give feedback on like what the issue with your plant is. And then obviously there's like tons of plant health apps out there, like to scan your plant or just like determine your overall plant health. So this kind of moves us into our solution, where we kind of wanted to combine aspects of each of these existing solutions into one product that could cater to our users' needs. So we obviously wanted that smart pot aspect, where it's like an interactive plant pot with sensors that can monitor your plant's health, like soil moisture and sunlight, but we also wanted to incorporate humidity for certain niches of plants. And we wanted these to be displayed on a sort of displayed on the pot itself through like a digital display. And then with that, we also wanted to have a linked app that connected to the pot that could tell the users their plant health, like when they're like far away from their plant, or we also wanted it to be able to notify the user when their plant needs care. And within that app, we wanted to have an embedded library where the user could just type in their type of plant, and it would adjust the settings of the pot. The app would adjust the settings of the pot to cater towards that specific plant. So like, if you type in like you have a certain type of tropical plant, it might adjust the pot to have a higher threshold for water and stuff like that.
So with our design viability, we have the interactive solutions where it gives our user this gamified kind of aspect of the pot. So have you ever played with a Tamagotchi before? You basically have a pet included with that specific, electronic. So this is the same concept where you'd have a pet kind of as a plant where you'd hold this responsibility of that pet so it doesn't die or, lack food or water. And we also have the adaptability. It works with all the kind of plants, As Isaac said, we have a library so it can identify the best way to take care of the plant. So the most one I've talked about is a tropical plant. And so it really adapted to that like humidity level that we talked about and the sunlight aspect level. And it's also simple for beginners. Well, the app will guide you through everything that we've tried to incorporate with the pot.
So this moves us into our pot prototype. As you can see here, it's basically a 3D printed pot that with this, we basically wanted to have a proof of concept on like what the screen and the user interface of the pot itself would look like. So like for this screen in particular, like your character looks happy, right? So like all your levels are good, but like for instance, as your levels start dropping, it goes to like a mad face, and there's obviously a sad face when your plant is like on its deathbed. And all these are portrayed here on the slides as well, for those of you that can't see.
So with this, we also wanted to incorporate the phone app, as we mentioned. Well, the phone app will basically work the same with in accordance to the plant, so it'll be synced with it. It'll give accurate health status with the sensors, the same display you'll have on your pot, and this will be kind of like a healthy, accordance with it. And then it will also give you accurate care tips, which on the right you'll see for that specific plant, the fiddle leaf fig, you'll have to have a top inch of soil that is dry, a lot of indirect light, soil is well drained, and like a temperature between 65 to 75 degrees. We'll also have the library that we've mentioned multiple times before. Well, it'll give us multiple different types of plants. It could be tropical, it could be like an aloe vera plant, something you can get pretty common, or you could just have some flowers that you can get out of the backyard. So all of this works synced with the pot, as I mentioned before. And then we also have a notification thing where, if you forget to water it, don't worry, it'll remind you. So it's like, hey, don't forget to water me. And not only this, if I go to the next slide, you'll also get that notification on your front homepage. So if you're not constantly on the app all the time, you'll still get it. He'll constantly be right there in your ear, just so you don't forget. And so this is going to be our user interface overall. We have multiple different screens. It'll be like a swipe to the right to access these different screens. And then we also have a bad plant health example. So like if he starts to die, on his deathbed, you'll start to see that as well.
And now we're going into the testing and analysis of our group that we tested, our user group. So one of the main things that we asked was, what are we doing and how are we doing it? So we tested how users felt about the user interface itself and the pot with the different layouts on top of the screen. It also will give feedback on the changes about the user interface and design of the pot itself. Our constraints and criteria when using our user group was simplicity of the pot. Was it easy to use, or was there a lot of things you had to work with it? Ease of use, again, kind of tying into the simplicity of the pot, and how well the pot performed. Did it crack under a lot of weight? If you put soil in it, did soil seep out? That kind of thing. Our user group was 5 different Purdue students that all own different kinds of indoor plants. And we concluded that the prototype needed a little bit of refinement in terms of the UI of the screen. If we go over to the next slide now, for example, this is a lot of our data analysis from that user group. And after the testing, the user groups were given a Google form that they had to fill out. In that Google form, we asked for the feedback on the pot design itself, user interface, and elements of the UI. As you can see from the charts here, for the design of the pot screen itself, only one person didn't really like it, while other people liked it a little bit at the very least, and 2 enjoyed it. And when asking about the design itself, we talked about the pot design, character on the screen, and the 3 status bars about what we can improve. Again, the pot wasn't necessarily the main concern of people. The main concern was the character on the screen and the status bars. When also looking for our next steps and way forward, we wanted to redesign the prototype to have its own display and user interface that was a little more easy for regular people to use beyond just what they wanted inside our user group. Additionally, we want to actually implement the sensors for data collection, and we also want to work out how the pot is going to be powered, whether it be solar, battery, or outlet.
In conclusion, our problem is that some plant owners can struggle when diagnosing plant health issues problems, since it's not very easy to identify, especially because there's a variety of plants. And then our solution is to create a smart pot that monitors with sensors the plant health, and then tells the app and the user interface that's connected to a library how to take care of the plant. And in the testing, we got some feedback from stakeholders. And for the future, as you said, we plan to add the screen, the sensors, and define how we're gonna power the pot. Thank you. Any questions?
Can you bring the prototype forward in front of the screen as well, so we can capture it further? Just like move it, not
Like back here.
Just like there. That should be enough. Just like show it so that we can capture it.
Show might be inside it too. They're asking, like,
Move forward.
This is a space for sensors to be.